So Neil, thanks for joining us today.
Pleasure, Rob. I can't be out climbing, so more than happy to chat with your good self.
I don't know about you, but I'm going to basically set fire to Zoom as soon as the pandemic is over.
Old habits die hard. I don't know. Yeah, probably. At least I'll remember things like unmuting my camera and all the schoolboy errors that I always seem to make.
Well, you're here now. So today you've got a couple of shoes to show us, and these are quite timely insofar as they're going to arrive pretty much as the indoor climbing walls open again, which is going to be, it's been a long time coming, hasn't it?
It has indeed, yeah. I mean, we're all twitching to get going, and I think also, having a bit of a spring clean with our climbing shoes it could be the order of the day, just to get us feeling a bit fresher, out with the old, in with the new, and with the gyms reopening, it definitely seems timely that La Sportiva have come up with a shoe that's very much with indoor climbing, gym climbing in mind. I mean, shall I kick off with it? Are you
Hey, kick off. You're on a roll.
Okay. So this is it. It's it's called the Kubo. You've got the men's and the women's version. Now, La Sportiva have been very much focused on the top end, the kind of, if you like, the Formula One racing cars, the aggressively downturned shoes. They've got so many models in that department. They're also quite well covered at the entry level. But what they really felt they needed to add to the range was a kind of mid-range shoe that was classically targeting that sort of intermediate gym-based climber. We've got shoes like that are, I think people perceive them more as geared more towards outdoor, like the Katana and the Miura. But we wanted something that had a real indoor, like gym flavor to it, and essentially represented people who were climbing from V1, V2 up to kind of V5, V6, or maybe French 6A to French 7A. I mean, crumbs, it's everyone. It's the lion's share of the climbing market. And yet we probably didn't quite have that shoe.
It's funny, here we are now after climbing walls having been open and closed for the last 12 months. But it's easy to forget that 24 months ago, it just felt like climbing walls were opening left, right, and center. And as soon as one opened, it was like spontaneous generation, wasn't it? Just more and more new climbers coming to the sport. And each of these people climbing probably somewhere between the grades that you were suggesting. I mean, a lot of these people are way better than, a lot of us were when we started.
That's it. But, so what do these people want from a shoe? I mean, the two hallmarks are comfort and also durability. And regarding both those things, what La Sportiva did was they took the Katana as a starting point. And I mean, anyone who knows that shoe, it's a classic shoe that it's just super comfortable. And it's also got that kind of durable feel to it. But they've effectively kind of tuned it and steered it in the direction of indoor climbing. How have they done that? Well, first of all, they've made the whole shoe softer so that it kind of adapts more to like volumes and like bigger surfaces. And it's also got a softer feel to it. The upper is made predominantly from microfiber, but also from like suede leather in the front. Why the difference in construction? Well, that suede leather in the front will give the shoe like a drier feel when you put your foot into it. It'll feel less sweaty. And on that note, the shoe is unlined, so it just has that lovely, instantly comfortable feel when you put it on. I don't know if anyone watching remembers the La Sportiva Mythos. It was famous for that kind of lovely suede against the foot feeling and softness. You get that with this shoe. But it's also like got some kind of sportier type features. I mean, you've got like a toe hooking patch on the top here, which is obviously good for toe hooking, but at the same time, it improves durability on a potential weak point in the upper.
It's a real nod of the cap as well towards the modern climbing style, because again, your traditional shoe for an intermediate climber would never have had a rubber toe patch. But
exactly, but then people push on quickly, right? I mean, the learning curve is steep these days, absolutely. And then you've got your, for an indoor shoe, I think really like it's got to be Velcro, or at least, you need special reasons to need laces. Like if you've got a very, very low volume foot, for example. So the double Velcro closure is quick and easy. The sole unit, unlike the Katana, it's been split into two. So you've got like a 3/4 sole at the front, This really lends itself to resoling, which La Sportiva are strongly recommending, in the current environment. I mean, just for sort of, eco reasons, really. And, people want that value for money too. And good quality resoling is available now widely. So that job can be done pretty easily. So regarding sort of other sort of specs and stats on the men's one, they put the excess grip rubber. Sorry, I beg your pardon. They put the excess edge rubber, which is a slightly sort of denser, slightly stiffer rubber compound. And then on the women's, they put the excess grip 2, which is a slightly softer. This ties in with their whole approach with the way they differentiate between a man's shoe and a woman's shoe. It's not so much on fit or volume, it's done on softness of materials, accepting that generally women are lighter than men. So they have a softer rubber, which is more adaptable to the climbing surface. And also they use slightly thinner, sort of softer construction in the toe and sometimes in the heel area as well. So the women's shoe just has a slightly softer feel to it.
I guess the other thing to say there, Neil, is that there are obviously a wide variety of other shoes within the La Sportiva range that feature other fits, other lasts. So, I always say to people, I mean, it'd be nice when boot demos can take place again, because one of the keys to getting the shoe that is spiritually destined to be on your foot is to try a load on.
That's right. I mean, that's why they don't take this approach, the more sort of traditional approach to constructing a women's shoe, where, women's shoes used to be made low volume and narrower. I mean, that's great for women who have low volume, narrow feet, but for women who don't, who have broader, boxier feet, that means they don't get a shoe to wear. So they exactly have that approach. La Sportiva makes some women's shoe in a narrow last, some in a medium last, and some in a broader last. And I would say that this sits right in the middle. It's this, the Kubo is on a kind of medium last. And in terms of I suppose the big questions people have are availability. It's going to be landing in the UK in April, hopefully just as the gyms are starting to reopen, and retail price £125.
It's interesting again now that you mentioned resoling as well, but £125 now is coming in at the actually quite affordable end of the climbing shoe spectrum, particularly for something as well that's been made. La Sportiva build quality is, as good as it gets. So you've got this, as you say, construction that's built to last. And the fact that you can then inject a bit of new life in it by resoling it as well is something I think we should all be factoring in a little more than maybe we did historically back when climbing shoes cost £60.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, just the standards are going up, so too are prices. But as you say, what you're paying for there is the build quality and what goes on under the bonnet. And you're going to get some good longevity from a shoe like that.
Brill. Well, thanks for taking us through those, Neil, and hope to see you, either indoors, outdoors, or, to be honest, I don't mind where we see each other as long as we see each other in reality at some time throughout 2021.
Agreed, Rob. Yeah, here's to that. Thanks very much.
Hey, cheers.
Take care.